What if the most dangerous criminal during one of America's darkest eras wasn't a gangster, wasn't a bootlegger, but the United States government itself? This is not a conspiracy theory. This is documented federal policy, and it killed at least 10,000 people. The year is the late 1920s. Prohibition is in full swing. The 18th Amendment has outlawed alcohol across the nation, but Americans are not stopping. They are drinking in secret, in basements, in back rooms, and the government knows it. Here is the problem the federal authorities are facing. Industrial alcohol, the kind used in factories, in cleaning solvents, in manufacturing, is being stolen and redistilled by bootleggers. Chemists working for criminal operations are stripping out the toxic additives and turning poison into something drinkable. The black market is flourishing. The law is being mocked. So Washington makes a decision. A calculated, deliberate, bureaucratic decision. If Americans insist on drinking illegal alcohol, make the alcohol impossible to survive. The federal government orders manufacturers of industrial alcohol to add increasingly lethal chemicals to their product. Not just the standard denaturants already present. They mandate the addition of kerosene, brucine, gasoline, chloroform, camphor, and most fatally, methanol, wood alcohol, a substance that does not just intoxicate, it destroys the optic nerve and shuts down the central nervous system. A few ounces can kill a grown man. The bootleggers try to redistill it. They cannot always get it clean, and the people drinking in speakeasies have no idea what is in their glass. The deaths begin almost immediately. On a single holiday weekend in New York City, more than 60 people die in the space of just a few days. Hospitals fill with the blind, the paralyzed, the dying. Medical examiners see a pattern. Journalists begin to ask questions. Charles Norris, the chief medical examiner of New York City, is one of the first to go on the record. He is furious. He calls the poisoning program exactly what it is, a government-sanctioned public execution disguised as policy. He publishes his findings, he names names, he points directly at Washington, and Washington does not back down. Officials defend the program openly. One government spokesperson at the time argues that the deaths are the fault of the drinkers themselves, that anyone consuming illegal alcohol deserves whatever consequence follows. The poisoning is not an accident being ignored. It is an argument being made, a punishment being administered without trial, without warning, and without consent. Historian Deborah Bloom, who exhaustively documented this program, estimates the death toll from federally mandated alcohol poisoning during Prohibition at a minimum of 10,000 people. Some estimates run considerably higher. Think about that number. 10,000 American citizens, killed not by crime, but by policy. The program continues until Prohibition is repealed in 1933, and then, like so many uncomfortable truths, it is quietly folded into history. Not hidden exactly, the documents exist. The records are there for anyone who looks, but never taught, never memorialized, never part of the national conversation about what that era actually was. We speak of Prohibition as a failed social experiment. We talk about the rise of organized crime, the speakeasies, Al Capone. We rarely speak of the government chemists following federal orders, carefully measuring out the methanol that would take someone's sight before it took their life. The question that sits at the center of all of this is not whether it happened. It did. The question is what it means that a democratic government looked at its own citizens, decided their deaths were acceptable losses in a culture war, and simply kept going. And if it happened then, what policy today might a future generation uncover? And look back on with the same cold horror.